today with a share of all the layouts that I made in April of 2022. So I had a pretty productive month, even though I was away for a week on my honeymoon in Disney. But luckily, when I got back, I had a whole week off for spring break. So I got a lot of layouts done, and I have a huge stack to share with you today. I don't even know how many, I haven't counted. So my first layout here is one that I made for the Erica Rose Creates sketch that she shared for April. And I used a Simple Stories collection and a cut file in the back here from Pear Tree Cut Files. And this cut file was actually for the Valentine's Day bundle, but it doesn't have to be Valentine's. A heart is kind of generic for lots of different things. I also have a piece from Color Cast Designs there. And then I had fun with all the little bits and pieces, tucking them around. I did a little packaging technique. I think that was with some shimmers in the background. And this one is shared on my Instagram channel. All right, next up, I purchased from Brianna a class kit where she used Pink Fresh Studios Happy Heart collection. And she had a kit to make 4 layouts. So these were the next 4 of the layouts from that. And this is a picture from my engagement party, and my brother and sister-in-law gave us these cute shirts for our Disney honeymoon, which has now happened. So there's some stenciling in the back, and then some of those gorgeous butterflies cut out. This was the second layout in that class kit. This was fun. We used that same stencil with some texture paste, which I haven't really played much around with texture paste, so that was fun. And then you go over with some ink and a watercolor brush. And then this circle paper, we cut a lot of the circles out to scatter around. And then my favorite, some shakers. I added some extra shakers. I think just that one was actually included in the layout. And again, some more photos from my engagement party. This is the third layout in Brianna's class, and I love how she used all those frames. Typically I'll use the frames for photos or for shaker pockets, but she stacked them all down the side, which I love. And I had never seen these Pink Fresh Studio gems. Look at that shine on them. And of course I had to go order the whole collection of all the colors, so that's on its way. And this was documenting when we chose the venue for where our wedding was going to be last summer. And here's the fourth layout from her class. She used that fun paper from this collection, cut it out, and then did some color matching with fun things. And the day after I got engaged, my mom wrote this right outside on the pavement outside my back door. That's why I titled it Love Mom. And then I love these tangled threads. In fact, since I've made this, I've probably purchased about another 15 colors of threads to continue doing that. All right, so that's the last of those from that kit. And then when I got home for my honeymoon, this collection had arrived. This collection is the latest Simple Stories. Let me look. It's called Full Bloom, I think. Yes, Full Bloom. And I had a lot of fun with this cut file. For Pear Tree, my assignment this month for April was to use the Pearscription cut files. So this was one of them, the butterfly wreath. And then I added a lot of dimensional foam behind the wings so that they would pop up. Used a bee stencil in the background and put all bits and pieces around it. And documented a photo of my grandma and I from I think that was actually Father's Day last year. And then these are photos from that same day, same collection, Full Bloom. And this was a cut file from Erica Rose Creates from her Patreon group. And this was actually the collection she included in her kit that month. So I paired those two together. And then I've got me and my dad, and then my mom and her dad. So my grandfather. And there I go with the tangled thread. I've been having a lot of fun with that. This is a layout that I'm going to share today. It's for the May challenge for Pear Tree Cut Files for the Design Team Challenge. It's this really fun title, Create Yourself Happy. And I just went with a bee theme, just for fun. I made the title a No Shaker Pocket. I had this fun confetti, or sequin mix, not confetti, that I put in there. And then for these You kind of see the shimmer on those bees. That was the stencil that I used on the other wreath layout. There you go. And I used the Scrapbook.com pops of color through the stencil and then cut them out in some hexagons and then cut some pattern paper to fit in with there. So this you'll see today on my Instagram channel and on the Pear Tree Cut Files Facebook group. This is another one with the full bloom collection, and this was a butterfly wreath that was in the April release of Cut Files from Pear Tree. And then I used this paper with the flowers printed on the bottom, and I did pop up a bunch of flowers on top of them. And then my April 2022 club kit came while I was on spring break, and I just dove right into it and started creating. And I also had ordered my photos from my Disney World trip, so these were Easter Bunny photos from Magic Kingdom. We were lucky enough to see the Easter Bunnies there. And this is another cut file from Pear Tree Cut Files from the Pearscription, these butterfly frames. So you get the frame, and then you get the butterfly as a separate piece that you can cut out and then layer on top. I just have them tacked down with a little bit of foam adhesive in the centers. And then this layout is made to go next to that in my scrapbook. Oops. So it'd be something like that because it's the same. Oops, let me fix my stack here. Same day, same event, just my selfies with the Easter bunnies. And that's how they seem to be doing it in Disney now with the characters. You just kind of go up, turn yourself around, take a selfie, or have someone snap your picture. No more lines, no more waiting, which I personally loved. I used a cut file here. I shrunk it down real tiny to be my title from Pear Tree. That was from the April release. And then in my butterflies, I added some hand stitching. In April, I also took part in the Erica Rose Creates online crop, and one of the challenges was to add stitching to your layout. So I typically add a lot of machine stitching, and here, kind of for the first time, I added it on my photos. I haven't really done much of that. And then I added the hand stitching just to be a little bit different. And here's one more with that April 2022 kit from Hip Kit, and this was also a challenge from that crop. Challenge from Brianna to either use tags or a grid style, and mine kind of covers both of those. I love tags. I used a acrylic piece from Color Cast Designs there for my title. All right, and then I decided that on Sundays I would do a little stash diving, and I went into my stash and found this collection from Simple Stories, which is called Safe Travels. It was from last summer and I'd never used it. And so I used it to document some of the photos from my honeymoon. I hadn't really had photos that time of when I got it to really do travel, so now I do, so I'm having fun. I used one of the chipboard frames to make a giant shaker pocket, and this is a sequin mix from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And then I had a lot of fun just placing things around. And this layout, I used a sketch from a class from Allison Davis for Scrapbook Generation. In fact, I think the next three are all inspired by her sketches with this collection. I pulled out an alpha from an older Hip kit that I thought matched perfectly. And this was from when we were going down to Florida for our honeymoon, and there was a lot of delays, so that's why I put roll with it there. Had to have patience. Another one with that Safe Travels collection, and a sketch from Allison Davis for Scrapbook Generation. And this is a cut file from Pear Tree Cut Files, I believe was from January, and it had a big 2022 in the center, but I just wanted the globe, so I just cut that out. And I did a pretty good job of cutting it where you didn't see the seam, but I ended up, covering the seams anyway, which kind of worked. And I went with Explore Around the World. This was a photo from Epcot. Oops, that does not go there. This was a photo from Epcot in Canada with Niagara Falls in the background. I thought that kind of was fitting. And then the last one on my stack is this one. This was my husband and I on the plane when we finally landed. It was a little bit of a rough landing, both in Florida and on the return trip home. So I used this Colorcast Designs title called Love Your Face because we're kind of both, you know, in shock. I'm happy to have made it down to the ground. So I really liked this sketch. It's another one from Allison Davis for Scrapbook Generation because I liked the fact that I could make some of these squares into little embellishment clusters. And then I had my visual triangle going on with my embellishments. And then I added these little Mickey heads, which were from my bridal shower at work. The girls had put out little confetti with the Mickey heads, and I kept them all. And I was glad I did because they kind of were the perfect addition, and the colors matched really nicely with this collection. So that's my last layout from April. I have 2 more that I created, but those are upcoming on the Pear Tree Cut Files design team Facebook group, so you will see those coming up. And let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 plus those 2, so that's 17 layouts for April. I think that's a pretty successful month. Hopefully you enjoyed this flip through, and I look forward to showing you all my May layouts at the end of May. Have a great day. Bye.